Now, Dr. Basin brought out all the right points and the right concerns as regards the utilization of water, the need to reuse it and recycle and reuse it, and why it's important to conserve it for the future generation when we claim that we are environmentally and socially responsible. Now, coming to, and he also said, I think we generate about 62,000 milliliters per day of wastewater, and we treat only 30% of that, which is grossly inadequate. Now, looking at the industrial aspect, we have two issues. One is we have the issue of the quantities being treated, and two, the quality to which we treat. And the other aspect is why the industry is not doing enough to treat. Yeah. Now, why would an industry, any industry, be it a manufacturing industry, be it a service industry, any industry, why would they want to treat the wastewater? I would say there are probably 3 or 4 reasons. The most compelling reason is, of course, the regulatory compliance. You have the Pollution Control Board, you have the municipality, you have all the regulatory authorities who insist that you treat the wastewater to certain standards before you discharge it into the network. If you are reusing within your premises, nobody bothers. But if you are to discharge it to the sewerage network, then there are standards that you have to meet. So this is a regulatory complaints, and this is the most compelling reason. And something which is more not so compelling, but more a comfortable reason, I would say, is the payback angle. You invest on a treatment plant, and that gives you back some of the water. So you save on the water cost, you save on the compliance cost, and somewhere the investment on the plant pays you back. So this is the second reason why people do that. And a less important or a lesser reason, I would say, is persuasive in nature, which is the PR angle that you derive. You go around talking about what you have done for the society, what you've done for the environment, what you're doing for the future generation. So you want to show, you want to green paint or greenwash the corporate image. So this is another reason why, off late at least, companies, because now the investors have started questioning the companies for their green credentials. So it's important for them to show a green image. And the last reason, that actually would have been the best reason, but it's the least likely reason, is the social commitment of the organization. They genuinely are committed to the environment, to the society, to the future generation. This should ideally have been the reason, but then industries have to also maintain their bottom line. They have a reason to be in business. They have to answer the investors. They have to answer the shareholders. So I would say the way that we can make the industry adhere to the regulations is to bring up a payback angle, a profitability angle to the compliance. And very often, or most often, adhering to environmental regulations does pay back the company in the medium to long term. Now, the problem is it's a medium to long term payback and not short term. Yeah.
Arun, just I wanted to see over here, right? So all the point that you're mentioning, right? So in a way, we are still saying that there is a trade-off between the performance, the environmental performance of the company, and let's say the business performance of it. Now, by the very nature, of course, the industry is profit-driven, right? So whatever the reasons might be it regulatory reasons, be it investor pressures, might be the social reasons, whatever those reasons are, if companies are going for installation of such systems, but clearly we find that the net impact is still towards getting the quality getting worse and worse, right, in the country. So where is the gap here? Is it the technologies that are being deployed, they are not optimal? Is it that the regulations are still kind of lagging behind what it should be? Or is it just too complex right now?
Yeah, okay. I would say it's a combination of factors. There is a knowledge gap. There are technologies available plenty, but then I think there is an inadequacy of design skills, knowledge skills within the industry and among the facilitators, be the consulting companies or the contracting companies. And the third aspect is the funding, the availability of funds. And I think this is where probably we need to focus on. I mean, the availability of funds, when I say we need to, I mean, as I said, investment on an environmental asset to pay back. And the only way this can be addressed is to make funds available at a lesser cost for implementation of, for example, a wastewater treatment and recycling plant. Uh, uh, Probably your investment on your manufacturing asset, on your plant and machinery, if it pays you back in 4 years, this might pay you back in 8 or 10 or 12 years. So you can't use the funding that you get for constructing the factory for putting up your effluent treatment plant. So probably this is where government can play a role, these days there are plenty of green funds around the world. There are green bonds, green funds. But government could create a green bank, for example, funding only assets of this nature, where the fund is made available at a lesser cost. I think this is one aspect which can make a lot of difference, where the industry pays back for the asset over 20 or 25 years. So from day one, at least it doesn't pinch him. Okay, he may not profit by being environmentally compliant, but it at least doesn't take away his profits. It doesn't eat up his bottom line. So I would say this is one of the aspects. The Bureau of Energy Efficiency, India has what's called the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, and they have come up with this concept of ESCOs. It's a model actually copied from the US, but very successfully practiced in India. We have a public sector company called EESL, which is Energy Efficiency Services Limited, and they fund energy efficiency in industries. They fund the renewable energy. They fund purchase of green vehicles, green buses, green cars. Something of that sort for water efficiency has to be brought in. I mean, this is something which can be done at a governmental level. ESL was promoted by 4 of the government utility companies like NTPC and Power Finance Corporation and Rural Electrification Corporation. A similar fund can be thought of by the government for water. And they could get paid, as I said, over 20-25 years. The life of the loan can be, the tenure could be 20 or 25 years, so that it's quite affordable for the company and at a low cost. This is one. And so, as I said, like we have the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, we should think in terms of a Bureau of Water Efficiency. This is one place that we need to create capacity. And the other, as I said, there certainly is a knowledge gap. Unfortunately, most of the regulators, most of those in the boards like the Public Works Department or the Pollution Control Board, unfortunately, I mean, I'm not pointing fingers or casting aspersions, but unfortunately, they all are more educated by the suppliers, the contractors, than actually learning from first principles the science and engineering or the science and technology of wastewater treatment. So the best salesman goes and convinces them that this is the best technology for you. And then they take help from him. They say, okay, I have a DPR to prepare. This is a typical DPR. You put in your proposal, incorporate this and give me. And then, and that gets published as a DPR. And that's probably, and that goes for tendering. And unfortunately, that's not the best technology available. I was yesterday going through a report of the Central Pollution Control Board where they had audited, I think, 200 and odd or 100 and odd uh, STPs, sewage treatment plants in India. I think 20% of them are not working at all. Another 20% is working well below capacity. Another 40% is delivering unsatisfactory results. So all this, and then I went into the details of the analysis, and I found that the fundamental observations or the fundamental expectations of some of these technologies or the way some of those technologies have been implemented itself have been wrong. I mean, it was wrong. So that knowledge gap is there, and this is something again probably before it's too late we should address. And water and wastewater treatment probably is good enough for a 4-year bachelor's program, and then you would have still learned only 10 or 20% of the subject. But I think today, I mean, to best of my knowledge, even today, we don't even have a master's program. It's not something you can cover in a 1.5 or 2 years of master's. I would say you need a bachelor's program, 4 years of bachelor's program, where people are taught water and wastewater science, you know, the chemistry, the biology, the engineering.